I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Thus spake Evelyn Beatrice Hall. Dear students, one forum where we agree to disagree is the platform of debate. Be it the famous presidential debates held in USA before elections or closer home parliamentary debates held in a democratic country like India. A very warm welcome to all the students watching this video. I am Tanu Malhotra, PGT English, presently posted at KV number 3, Patiala. And I am sure students, you must be very clear by now that the topic which I am going to take today is debate writing for class 12. Debate writing is held in most of the schools, so you must be familiar with this genre of spoken expression. But today we shall explore it a little further and try to see the steps to writing a good debate. But before doing that, let's go over the marking scheme of debate. Now, debate comes under long answer composition, which is asked in section B, writing skills. It is a 10-mark question, and the subdivision of the marks is, first of all, format carries 1 mark, and it includes opening address, taking a stand for or against the topic, and appropriate closure towards the end. Content, as you can see, is the king here, as it carries 5 marks. Then expression carries 4 marks with 2 marks for grammatical accuracy, appropriate words and spelling, and another 2 marks for coherence and relevance of ideas and style. So that was all about the division of marks in a debate. Now after the marking scheme, let's go over the definition of the debate. Even though you are familiar with it, there is no harm in going over the meaning of debate once again. Let's see what does a debate mean. A debate is an argument or a formal discussion between two speakers or two teams expressing different opinions, rather opposing arguments about a subject. Now, after discussing the meaning of the debate, children, we shall move on to discuss how to write a good debate. Now, I think it is in the fitness of things that along with discussing theoretical points or steps to write a good debate, we take up a real topic, a real issue to serve as an example, because it will make things clearer to you. And the topic which we have selected for today is online smart classes are the future of education. Write a debate either for or against the motion. Now once we have selected the topic, we can go on to discuss the steps of writing a good debate. But before starting writing the actual debate, there is a before reading step also, and that before reading step is to take a stance. What does it mean? When you get your question paper, you will read the question carefully and understand the topic of debate or resolution. Once you have understood the topic, you will take a stance for or against the motion, either supporting the resolution or opposing the resolution. Now you will think that what are the things you should keep in mind while taking a stance. I will suggest that you take a stance depending upon your personal views, the side that you actually want to support and the side for which you have more information and material to write on. Once you have taken a stance, now we can proceed to step 1 of debate writing, and let's see what is that step 1. Step 1 is to write an impressive introduction. So you will begin your introduction by addressing the jury and the audience respectfully. It will be followed by the announcement of the topic, including your stand in clear terms, whether you are speaking for the motion or against the motion. And how we can do it, I will give you an example. Honorable Chairperson, judges, teachers and my dear friends, today I stand before you to express my views for or against the motion, online smart classes are the future of education. Now, once this formality has been completed, let's see how we shall proceed. Now children, you need to focus your attention on the opening line. It is said that first impression is the last impression. First impression may or may not be the last impression, but there is no harm in creating a good first impression. So how can you write a strong opening line? You can use a quotation, which is a tried and tested method. Many of you may have used it time and again or seen other debaters using it. Then another way is to add a powerful statistic, or you can contextualize the topic with real world events. For example, in the topic of online classes that we have chosen, you can easily talk about the relevance of online smart classes in context of the present crisis of COVID-19 leading to lockdown. Now let's look at an example of a good opening line. In the example that we have chosen of online smart classes, for example, you can use an opening line like this. If you are so old-minded and think that computers will be distracting children from studies, with a sincere sorry for you, let me tell you that the young generation has gone a long way with computers. Now, don't you think this line is very dramatic? The basic requirement, children, here is to catch the attention of the audience, to attract the attention of the audience, to attract their interest, to make them sit up a little straighter in their chairs. Well begun is half done. Now, after you have aced the game of an appropriate opening line, we shall move on to the next point. Now step 2 while writing the debate is to define the topic. Many of you may think that you will start with the argument after your introduction, but I will suggest that take some time to define keywords in your topic and make the subject crystal clear. As a result of that, readers will get a clear idea of what the topic means and they will better be able to appreciate your debate. Let's look at the example in context of the example we have chosen. For example, in this question of online learning, you can define the topic by saying online learning or e-learning refers to learning conducted via electronic media, typically on the internet. There is no face-to-face interaction between the teacher and the student. I think these two sentences fairly sum up the meaning, the idea of online learning, and you should also not take more than 1 or 2 lines to define the topic. This was our step 2. So once we have made a grand opening, we have defined the topic, we can proceed on to step 3, and let's see what is step 3. Now step 3 is to draw an outline of main points. A good rule of thumb here, students, is to back up your position, the stance you have adopted, the stand you have taken either for or against, with 3 strong key points. Or you can call them your main ideas or value points that you will follow throughout the course of your debate. Now, how shall you arrive at these 3 main ideas? Children, when you read the topic and you take a stance, at that time do a little brainstorming and jot down all the relevant ideas that come to your mind as part of rough work. And at the end of this exercise, you can select 3 strong ideas out of the listed ones and make them the mainstay of your debate. For example, in the example of online classes that we have chosen, these can be the key points. If you have decided to speak for the motion, you can say that online learning is accessible to everyone, everywhere. Second point you can take is that internet is the greatest knowledge provider. Then third point can be that it is a paperless medium which helps in saving the environment. If you have chosen to speak against the motion, you can easily say that there is no face-to-face interaction between the teacher and the student. Secondly, it leads to laziness and lack of discipline. And thirdly, it reduces employment among teachers. So now it's fairly clear to you that you have to select 3 or 4 main points and weave your entire debate around those points. Now after this step we move on to the next step. Step 4 is signposting. Some of you may be wondering what signposting is all about. Now children, when we travel on highway, we come across signposts that show the direction and distance of your destination. We shall do the similar thing in our debate. Through signposting, you will tell the reader or the listener how many points you are going to make in the course of your debate and the order in which you are going to present those points. It will be helpful not only for the understanding of the readers or the audience, but it will also be helpful for you because you will also become clear about the structure of your debate, the organization and sequence of ideas. For example, you can say, I am going to argue your first idea. I will then move on to demonstrate why, which can be replaced with your second idea, and conclude by examining Z, which can be replaced by your third idea. So by the end of it, after the introduction, if you do signposting, audience or readers will be very clear what is to follow. Now after signposting has been done, we move on to the next step. Step 5 is to develop key points. Now remember the 3 key points that you had selected out of the brainstormed ones. Now what I would suggest you is that you should use argumentative style and logical reasoning. Support your points, your arguments, your stance with examples, statistics, expert opinion. Now why should we use examples? Because examples are an easy way to convey your point of view in an effective manner. The audience may not be paying attention or listening to the theoretical points that you are speaking, but once you give an example without making any effort, they will be able to relate to the point that you are trying to make. Remember children, if you use right kind of evidence, it can serve as the backbone of your argument. Till now, children, I have advised you to base your argument on plain logic, but here there is a word of caution. Beware. Only logic, exclusive use of logic can make your debate dry and dull. So what can you do? Logic combined with emotions is a deadly combination, logos and pathos. So go ahead and feel free to appeal to the emotions and motives of the readers and the listeners, their care for the community, their concern for the environment, their desire to save something, or their sense of fair play. It will add value to your debate. Now those of you who have ever heard a real debate must be aware of the fact that the style is equally important, if not more important than the content. So there is a definite style to writing a debate. The first thing that we can do while writing a debate is the use of discourse markers. Discourse markers are words and phrases like right, okay, anyway, actually, basically, to begin with. Now what function these words and phrases will perform is that they will add a fluency and a natural touch to your language, which is appropriate for a spoken form of expression like speech or debate. Now you can also use some powerful expressions. These are some set or laid down expressions which you can easily use to frame your argument. Now what can be these expressions? In my opinion, I fail to understand, may I ask, I disagree, I would like to argue. No one can deny the fact that it goes without saying, I wholeheartedly endorse. Now this takes care of the style to maximum extent, but if you want to add more spark to your content, you can use some persuasive techniques or persuasive strategies also. Now what can be those persuasive strategies? For example, you can use rhetorical questions and irony, Remember children, you have read the play Julius Caesar in class 10th, and in the speech of Mark Antony there was a line, Brutus is an honorable man. This line was oft repeated in the course of his speech and with such ironical effect that by the end of it we were convinced that Brutus was anything but honorable. So irony and rhetoric are two such devices with the help of which you can undermine the arguments of your opposition without directly attacking them, so that they make you seem more mature and intelligent. Then go ahead, use similes and metaphors, give readers something to relate to. Then humor is another sure shot method of winning over the audience. Then you can use repetition to reinforce the point that you are making. Go ahead, feel free to use alliteration. Your English teacher will be more than happy and it will fetch you more marks. So now these persuasive strategies children we have seen can serve as the icing on the cake. So this was all about developing the body of the debate. Now after that we come to the last step, that is conclusion. Step 6 is conclusion, and in the beginning under format we had seen that appropriate closure is a part of the format. So how shall you conclude your debate? First of all, what you can do is you can reiterate, repeat or clarify your overall stance, the position that you have taken. Then secondly, you can sum up the points made, maybe by rephrasing the topic sentences that you used in the course of your debate. And in the end, leave the readers with a take-home message or a strong appeal for action. And last but not the least, thank the readers or audience for their time and patience. And written form of debate, you can do that by writing thank you at extreme left hand side. Now children, we are more or less done with the steps to write a good debate, and I hope all of you have understood all the steps very well, and but still I think we need to do a quick recap. The first point was to address the jury and audience respectfully. Second step was to announce the topic and take a stance. Third point was to write a catchy and interesting introduction. Fourth step, to define the topic. Fifth point, to select 3 key points. Next was to signpost those key points by telling the sequence. And the next one was to develop arguments with logical reasoning. Then you can add emotional appeal by appealing to the motives of the listeners, and do remember to use discourse markers and powerful expressions as part of style. You can also use persuasive strategies like humor, metaphors, irony, etc. And finally, you can conclude by summing up and ending with thank you. And thank you to all of you for listening to this presentation with a lot of patience. And now I leave you here with some additional tips to score good marks. Double check your debate for grammatical accuracy and spellings because they do carry marks. Highlight or underline main points after finishing your paper. Keep some quotations handy, they will help you in presentation. And last but not the least, if you have gone through the CBSE syllabus for class 12th for the session 2020-21 carefully, you may have noticed that they have said that contemporary topical issues will form a part of speech and debate. So a word of advice from me is to go through newspapers regularly and keep abreast of latest happenings and burning topics in the world around us. Thank you.